Hello. Let's see whether everything is working fine or not, because this will be very quick live stream for 15 to 20 minutes at max, not more than that. There's certain updates that I wanted to just share, and that's about it. Moreover, this design system, which is something that I want to use, basically this is what we will start building moving forward from tomorrow onwards or something. I'll try to define certain things here, but that's about it. Hopefully I have changed the entire space. The place where I am actually recording has been changed. So if there's some sort of like an echo, if there's some sort of like a background noise, just yeah, just make sure that this is not I'm just apologizing in advance if that is the case. Moreover, I don't know why, for some reason, it is not coming up here. And even though it says it is here. So let's just check it out. Okay, it is working fine. Let's just make it as like, for example, and open the chat here. Hi Dipanshu. Yeah, so okay, a little bit of update. The crash course of Next.js has been started. I have started rolling them out one by one. So yeah, first 3 episodes are out. As you can see, all these 3 videos are basically for setting it up. And if you simply go to this YouTube channel right here, this is the entire course. I tried to be as straightforward as possible. I have included all the subtitles as well. So for example, you can actually have a subtitle which is in English. So it is generated by Assembly AI. So hopefully everything is fine here. Moreover, you can also have up to 4K worth of video. So there's that also. And yeah, that's kind of it. And let's see, I should also like it. Also just share it if you have something like this, what else? Yeah, one more thing, if I have simply go to this code dusting, go to the playlist, you'll find that here, right here, you have this entire playlist which you can actually go and just watch. So I'll just go here as well and keep me motivated. So I'll just do this liking as well. Cool. So this is about it. This is basically all there is to it. I mean, every day I will keep on uploading. I will try to upload at least 1 video or maybe 2 depending on the size of the editing. So there's that. And at the end, I will also be using some sort of like a combined video as well. Moreover, if you go to this latest video, you will find there's a GitHub repo which you can actually which you have to go and you have to figure it out, the public, copy this public as well as this db.json. But if you scroll down, you will also see that there's a bunch of things that are marked as done. So all of this, right, including this bonus into accessibility, one of the things that I try to do, which is a voice command, is kind of like inbuilt here. And there's a bonus which says there are certain fixes that are required for the deployment in production, which is not yet completed. But by the time you guys will be going through all of this will also be up and running, and the final video will contain pretty much everything. Cool. So that was the update on this part. I'll start once there are ample videos. We'll cover in one go. Yeah, you can actually start the Bangshu once there are 5 videos, right? So the problem with this approach is, that's why I tried to there are certain problems. One is that if I release 1 by 1 video, then it is not a build up. So there's a problem that you stated. Once there's ample video, then people like to watch. But if you actually go and release the entire video, the amount of time that it takes to edit the entire video, that takes a toll on the YouTube end. because then YouTube starts penalizing you because you're not releasing any video. For example, in the last this last week, there was no video release, no live stream, nothing, because I was moving from my place to another city altogether. So there was no video, and then it started penalizing me in terms of like reach and everything. So yeah, but anyways, you can actually watch it after 4 or 5 videos, because the 3 videos that I have released right now, this is basically all the setup that you require anyways to start the actual base, which is routing, which will be the 4th video, which will cover the basic routing, and off it will go like that. Okay, so that was a quick update on this entire thing. So, and if you're not following me here, anybody, just go and search for Code Dusting on Twitter. You can have my profile and you can just simply follow it. This is right here. Okay, and yeah, that's it. But okay, let me see chat overlay if I can do that. I'll look into it later. But anyways, so now hopefully my voice is also clear. But let's go to Figma, because this video is all about the design system for the velocity testing. So I remember creating one thing, which is velocity testing. Now, just very upfront, I will be quite upfront. I'm a developer. I'm a software engineer. I'm not a designer per se. So basically, this entire design system creation will be based on certain theory knowledge that I have, and yeah, that's about it. So I will be looking into whatever the theory knowledge I have working with the designers, and I will just try to go around creating the little bit design system that I require for this entire project. Just to iterate what this entire design system is all about. So let's see. That was I might have to go back and delete my complete API altogether, but we'll do it later. Not that it's already a free account, so yeah. But let's see if I have, maybe I can just display this for now. Let's go back to this. Yeah, no problem, Pangshu. So there's this API that I have. Hopefully, let's see, async usage. Yeah, here we go. Refresh the token. Changing your API token will break all the existing integration. You will need to update your code using the API. Yeah, refresh it, because I just leaked my API token to public on live stream. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I should be coming back, and fair enough. I think it has been refreshed. So let's see. App here. Yeah, it has been refreshed. Good. Anyways, let me just get back this like so. And shit, this is pretty funny, but let me refresh it again. Good. I think it is done. Now I can just go back. All right, now it is done. Like, I refreshed it again, so it's not going to be like there. Okay, so where am I? Like, what is the current? Yeah, okay. So now shit happens. Fair enough. It does. It definitely happens. Okay. So basically, if I have to go inside, I wonder where I have. Yeah, here it is. So let me just open it in code. Rather than designing anything, let me just I'll just explain what design system actually is, right? This is not system design. System design is what we will do later, which is a term in engineering. But this is like a design system, which is a turning design or UX UI or something like that. So in the README file, this is a video series. This is the initial plan, which is right here, the initial plan. Fair enough, which is good. Now let's start with the design system. So what is design system anyways? I'll just explain this and we are good to go for now because it's too late. So basically, design system is something that will help us to actually create components while we are building our entire, design. So before the design, before you start developing any website, let's say before you start developing this, or I'll just show you something like, for example, if I go to the Tailwind, right, before I start developing this entire website, right, I have to decide a bunch of things. First of all, I have to design this entire website on my Figma or some sort of like a vector tool, right, so that I don't go back and forth in code just to look for the design. So it speeds up the process if you have already a design set in place. This is a job that is done by the designers, right? Web designers, they do that job. Now, since I don't have any person who can do that job for me, I'll do that entire job for myself, right? But before you actually do like the entire design in the Figma itself, like for example, before I start creating any page, right, there are a bunch of things that I should be deciding so that the entire design throughout my entire site remains consistent, right? Not to mention, this is where you can actually also have some sort of like an accessibility focused design as well, so that there's no you don't forget it while you're developing the entire thing. Okay, so what do I mean by this entire design system? For example, if I get started, you will see, first of all, this entire thing is basically some sort of like a design system. So Tailwind helps you actually create custom design system quite quickly, right? But for that, you need to have some sort of like a design system. Let me tell you what I mean by that. We don't have this, yeah. So basically, first thing is color system. So you need to have some sort of like color system, right? Yeah, prototype. So you need to have some sort of like a color system. Then you have to have a typography system, right? Typography system. Then you also have some sort of like a spacing. What should your entire spacing be? So basically you're designing things one component as one by one, so that the entire thing can actually emerge out of it, right? And then you will decide, say, font sizes, things like that, right? So on and on you decide everything. Font sizes, I think, will come into typography system. Then you have like spacing and everything. And finally, based on these, right, then you start designing a bunch of modules, a bunch of components out of these little bit things. You start designing a bunch of modules out of it, and then you combine all those, let's say molecules or something, whatever they call it, and then you actually get some sort of like a bootstraps scenario where you are actually having components out of it, right? So one theory is something that my designer friends told me is, they call it in terms of atom. From there they go to molecules, and from there they go to organism, things like that. This is the language that they use. So what are atoms? Basically you can think of like, okay, what will be my primary color, what will be my secondary color, what will be my background color, text color, dark background color, dark text color, things like that, right? Or what will be my h1 heading size, what will be my font family, what will be my letter spacing, things like that are kind of like a atom thing. What will be my padding, margin, okay, what will be the color of all those things. So these are the atoms, small building blocks. When you combine these small building blocks, you get some sort of like a molecules, right? What are these? Like for example, if there's a button, right? For example, if I just go here, let's say, just for the sake of it, I'll just create one. So for example, let's go with the desktop, let's go with the desktop of this one. Okay, so basically what I'm saying is, let's think of this way. I want to create a button, right? And this is my button. Okay, and then I say button. Now everything that I'm doing here, right here, if I say 24, now everything that I'm doing here is quite hectic. Why? Because if I have to create another button, I might have to, group an entire thing and maybe do some sort of like copy pasting and things like that. And the problem with this is, if I change this, let's say this color, right, this is not changing. Not to mention, if I change this again, this is not changing at all. So because these two are like, they're not component, they are like two different entities altogether. So this actually becomes quite hectic as my design will grow, as my pages will grow in this design. If I want to change at the very end, say I don't want this black color, I want some other color for the background of the button, then I have to go and change pretty much every single component, right? Every single button throughout my entire system, and this is not feasible. So basically what the designers do, they actually create this as a component, and then they basically do some sort of things which we'll look into in the Figma tomorrow. They do some sort of like a thing so that if they change the color here, the color changes here as well. Okay, now this is kind of like this font. Let's say, what will be the size of this, what will be the font type of this, what will be the thickness of this. All of these are basically atoms. And what will be the padding of this in the button, what will be the background color of this or primary color, all of these are atoms. When we are combining all of this, you're getting this thing called molecule, right? It could be some sort of like a loader here as well, and primary, secondary, whatever, but this combination of atoms becomes a molecule. Now when you combine a bunch of molecules, say header, say link, say hamburger, whatever, hero section and all of that, card, link, button, heading, display, whatever, right? Then you get something in their terminology, as far as I understood from their working with them, is something called organism. Now it may be possible that this is not the entire terminology in the design system world, because my window to design system is very narrow. It's something that I simply got from listening to my designer friends and colleagues. That's about it, nothing else, nothing more than that. So there's that. And then they say ki when you actually combine bunch of organisms, you have like the entire design system in itself, something like that they talk about it. But yeah, so this is basically a very basics around it. Like I said, I have no clue. I am not an expert in design system. As a matter of fact, I'm not even an expert in designing things to begin with, right? I get the design, I just develop it. The only reason why I want to do it is because this is my website, and I'm pretty sure that I can actually design something for me, right? Especially if it's just a philosophy level thing which I just done. And the number one rule that I follow, because let's say I'm mentally challenged when it comes to designing anything, so the number one rule that I follow when it comes to designing things, because I know nothing, is that if you are confused about colors, black and white always work, or some sort of like a white background, like for example some sort of like this level of background, right? Or this background, or like this background, or this, right, will always work. Or white background and black, or black background in the range of 2 or 1 with the white back text with this. If you're confused, always use that, and it kind of like always works. I had this thing called my first design that I created. There was no design system in that. There was just me just tinkering around a little bit, and that's about it. So that was the philosophy that I used. So most likely I will do that as well here as well. And yeah, that's about it. So yeah, proud devs, exactly. And so tomorrow, because it's like too much of time, I'll just continue this entire thing directly tomorrow, right? Starting from this, we'll start building the atoms, and then we'll go to molecules if the time permits, and we'll go to the components and so on. So I'm pretty sure that I have to kind of like look into when it comes to color system, like what is the primary, what is the secondary, do I even want secondary or not, things like that. What is going to be the background color, what is going to be the dark background color, if I want the dark background in the first place. See, this idea of dark, everything dark is a very dev-centered idea, right? For example, every site has to have this like for example, if I go to Next.js, right, this black background and this white thing is a very narrow dev-centered idea. It's not like most people like it. And for any, like, technically speaking, if I am pretty sure I read it, like dark background versus light background for eyesight. Dark mode has a lot of benefits and not better for your eyes, may not be better for your eyes. Okay, and this is not just me that is saying it, it's a bunch of studies that has actually resulted in it. And like the reason why we are using it is because, first of all, the idea, if you go to any doctor, basically they will tell you ki have a ample enough light, change this entire thing to like this way, right? And I have an ample enough light, and this is much better for the eyes. Now the problem is most developers work at night with no light in their room, so this becomes very bad for the eyes. So then they skip to this, some sort of like a light version, and then it becomes like, okay, theek hai, this is now working fine for me. But if you're reading about something, if you're doing some sort of like this is not good at all, right? This entire experience is not good at all. So yeah, so I will look into it whether I even want this dark background or not, things like that, because it's mainly concerned about philosophy, and I don't think these people actually like it. And that's about it. So we'll look into it tomorrow, and for now, that's it. If you want to get started with that Next.js course, the 3 videos will suffice your entire initial setup. Just watch it, install it, so that from tomorrow onwards we can begin the routing, and wait for that video. And please, if you like it, just share this channel information at least, because yeah, that is necessary. Thanks, bye.